Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. Hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We have plenty coming up on the Sports Show. Greg Anderson joins me as always. Ando.
Welcome. It's going to be a great show. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I tell you,
we
have, mate. We're going to talk a bit of rugby league. We're going to talk a bit of soccer. We're going to talk a bit of footy. We're going to put some SANFL. Yeah. We're getting across all of it at the moment. The Southern Footy League.
Oh, the Southern Footy, of course. Our mate Craig, which is always look forward to that.
Well, so we've got a bit to squeeze in, mate. Of course, the biggest story this week is going to be the showdown.
Of course.
There's been 45, mate. We know that the Crows have won 23. Yeah. Power have won 22. Saturday night, it's going to be a belter of a game. What's your feel?
Oh, look, I think the Crows will win this one. I watched the Crows played Freo last week, and I thought they really played a smart game. You know, when we all know that the style of game that Freo play, and I actually thought they adjusted really well to it and played it better.
All right, they're saying the Crows are terrific at contested footy. Now, You've coached, mate, so we know that's on the board, that's always highlighted. We have to win contested possession. Then it comes down to the ruck work. Have the Power got a bit of an edge? I mean, Crows are still without big Sam Jacobs, and Ryder's pretty good in there.
Yeah, I'm just also worried about the injuries that Power's got at the moment.
Yep.
You know, you look like,
and they're coming off the big loss last week to Collingwood.
Big loss last week with the four young players, really their names up in lights. He got doled out a bit last week against Collingwood, and Collingwood an awesome side.
Yeah, they're in great form.
But they are young, and it might take a few weeks to get there. You know, sort of wow, what happened to us? You know,
to bounce back.
To bounce back because they're only young. They're 19, 20 years old.
You know, when you talk about that, because there's been that excitement about the young players for the Power. Yeah. Over the journey in the AFL, there's always been, they're good for about 3 or 4, maybe even 6 games, and then their bodies just wear out. You know, are we going to see a little bit of that or not?
Nowadays, but because the ovals are so much better, and these are very fast players.
But you know, we talked about if we stay with the Power, like Ollie Wines was a sensation because he lasted the whole year. Then it was Powell Pepper in his first year in the whole year, but haven't really seen too many since those two, have we?
No,
that have been brilliant at the start of the year. They're still brilliant in the middle of the year and still brilliant at the end of the year. Yeah.
Well, those two players, no question, were walk-up players. I mean, like Ollie Wines' body
yes.
at 89, 19-year-old, and Powell Pepper's aggression in his body. I mean, they were ready to play. You know, the full year. You know, Dersma and Rosie and Butters. They are very quick. They're very light. You know, so whether or not they can carry the body pressure throughout a whole year is a little bit question, and I thought Collingwood hit them pretty hard last week. They were pretty close checking. Yep. They didn't let them get that speed away.
Well, they jumped them early, didn't they?
They did, yeah. And look, I thought
so is the start
really well last week.
Is the start important? For
real important.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, if Rosie or one of those younger players can get that break and maybe take a bounce and run with the ball for 20, 30 metres, wow, you know how good they feel. If they're not getting the ball really much through the second or midway during the second quarter, it's going to be a long game for them. You know, and there's going to be some leaders that are out of the side, and that's going to make it hard as well. Because as we say, the leaders gives you the stability of the team, and the young ones give you the spark. And look, Brad Ebert out of that side.
Yeah, big loss.
Ollie Wines out of that side. Well, that's some big losses.
All right, and the bloke that's never a loss and who loves the big stage, Eddie Betts, he loves the showdown, mate. Is he going to be the one that's going to, you have those freaky goals that decide the game. Can we see Betts nail one and go, they got us by 6 points, and Betts had that miracle goal?
People say it was a really boring game of footy to watch last week, and probably that's Freo.
The scoreline indicated that, yeah.
And Freo, I actually quite often, I asked a couple of the Freo supporters, how do you put up with this sort of week in, week out? And they say it is pretty hard because we don't score much, But by the time that ball got in either of the forward lines, it was flooded. So you're not going to see Eddie get 12, 14 possessions and Tex getting 20 possessions because it was just too many players back. What I thought Pike did really well, he done the same thing back to them.
Yes,
and I thought it was really smart.
Clever.
And so Eddie was on a leash last week, and I think you don't want to let that leash
let it go
too far because I was in line. I was actually in line when that ball went, when he kicked that goal in that last quarter. It was amazing. That was magic.
Yeah.
He would have seen no daylight at all, and he just snapped it, and it bent the wrong way.
Yeah, he doesn't.
How's that work? It never worked for me.
Just quickly, because we're getting the wind up from the floor, mate. We've got to get over to Bridget for the news. The Thunderbirds have started their season, mate. Good win, first one. Yeah. Lost last weekend. They play the top of the team this weekend at home, mate. The Melbourne Vixens. What do you think?
It was a great start. It was an
Yep,
important
a
win,
ripping
wasn't it,
start.
that round one, and just important just to keep that that they got to win, and that's the key to it. And we chatted last week, and unfortunately when you do lose and win a netball, it's like by one goal. It's like nothing. It can be quite cruel watching netball. And we both got daughters, and
we know it's cruel. It is cruel, mate. All right, we need to get over to Bridget for the sporting news. Bridget.
Thanks, boys. I'm Bridget, back with this week's sporting news. Adelaide United have kept their finals campaign alive in an absolute thriller, devastating Melbourne City at the last gasp over the weekend. Both teams struggled to get any momentum, remaining scoreless at full time. Ben O'Halloran acted as Adelaide's hero, scoring a goal with just 1 minute left of extra time and preventing a tough penalty shootout. The Reds have a challenging task ahead as they face league leaders Perth Glory in WA tonight. Up-and-coming SA squash player Sarah Hayden has been selected for the World Doubles Championship next month. It follows an exceptional month for Sarah, claiming the Under-19 girls title at the Australian Junior Open. Best of luck to this young gun. The Crows have found their groove, beating out the Dockers in a hard slog at Adelaide Oval. Cam Ellis-Yeoman and Rory Sloane starred in the low-scoring affair, with Adelaide's strong defence just enough to get them the 4 points. Port Adelaide had a disappointing night against the Pies, going down by 6 goals in Travis Boak's 250th match. Veterans Westhoff and Boak were phenomenal, but a poor first quarter was too much to overcome. The Power will hope to bounce back, and the Crows are looking to continue their form when they go at it in Showdown 46 tomorrow. Norwood and Glenelg are emerging as SANFL frontrunners as the 2019 season begins to heat up. Despite losing to Adelaide over the weekend, the Redlegs are ladder leaders, looking to continue their dominance with a win over the struggling Eagles tomorrow. The Tigers hope to boost their impressive percentage when they battle Central District in Elizabeth. It'll be a big weekend for the SANFL, with a few teams needing to pull their socks up to handle the competition. And Adelaide Adrenaline have returned after a tough trip to Newcastle, falling to the North Stars by 4 goals. Adrenaline showed plenty of promise on the ice, but were outclassed by an experienced Newcastle outfit. Forward Steve Best was one of Adelaide's strongest, while Jesse Gordachuk made some extraordinary saves to keep the scoreline respectable. Adelaide will get their shot at redemption as they play the North Stars tomorrow at the Ice Arena. And the Adelaide Thunderbirds have copped their first loss of the season after being outplayed by a determined New South Wales side. The Swifts jumped out of the gates early and didn't look back, running out 18 goal winners. Sasha Glasgow scored an efficient 24 goals, but it wasn't enough to get her side over the line. Head coach Tanya Omst is confident her team can bounce back against the Melbourne Vixens at home tomorrow. And Adelaide Lightning have re-signed homegrown talent Chelsea Brooke for the upcoming WNBL season. The 20-year-old star is returning for her 4th season and will be determined to take her team to the grand final once again. There's more good news, with ex-36ers and current Minnesota Timberwolves star Mitch Creek signing on as a club ambassador. While he's on his NBA off-season, Creek will be spreading the word about the Lightning and encouraging basketball fans to get behind the team. You're up to date. I'll see you next week. Back to you, boys.